Tea with Monique is brought to you by Mila Eve Essentials. Visit MilaEveEssentials.com for 100% pure, therapeutic essential oils and other products. Nature knows best, and so does Mila Eve.
I came to work. I came to slay. Countdown to the beat drops. True queens don't play. I came to work. Drag, slay, work, work. Hit the stage. Drag queens don't play.
Yeah. Stand up to bullies.
What up? Why?
Hello.
What's up, Jay?
Hi, you're boldly red today.
I wanted to match the backdrop.
I love it.
I'm really excited about today's episode because listen here. We have the intuitive and the intellect joining us as special guests, and I am so ready. Boss Squad and Skye Squad will be in the building, like they said in that cute little promo.
Oh my gosh. I was shook. I was like, wait, hold on. Because at first I thought it was just Milani, and then I heard Christopher, and then I heard Chase, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I had to tell my video promo guy to make a caption for Chase's part because I knew wasn't nobody gonna understand what he said.
Oh my gosh.
He was too cute. And then Milani, oh so fly, DJ Richie Skye.
Oh my God.
So yeah, just to tell y'all how that came about, I was down here trying to record my promos for the next few weeks, and my kids thought it was funny that they kept laughing in the background, they kept repeating me, they kept copying me. So I said, you know what? Y'all do it. Y'all think it's so easy? Y'all do it. And they had to do so many takes over and over until they got it. And they did a good job. So I'm really excited. Yes. Tonight, we are going to be discussing what's my life's purpose. And there's so many directions that we can go with this conversation. I'm definitely going to give some testimonies of my own, of course. But I feel like we're really going to go deep. And I really hope that this episode will change people in the sense of reevaluating what they're doing right now and making sure that it aligns with what their passion and their purpose is. And going back into your childhood to discover what it is that you truly love, because most of us will do in our youth what we're really passionate about and what really aligns with our life's purpose. But then sometimes we get older and we start to stray away from those truths, what we're really supposed to be doing, because we may feel that we need to do what our parents told us. We might be pleasing them or, doing what have you. And, we might stray a little bit away. Or sometimes we think we can only do one thing when we can do so many things. Yeah. But I do want to shout out Ebony Wines. I'm drinking their Kinshasa right now. The owner is amazing. She was on my Wine Down Wednesday, which comes on Not for Lazy Moms, which I am doing later tonight. This is the most amazing sparkling wine you will ever have.
Really?
I mean, it is so good. I did not get this as a gift. I bought it myself. I went right onto the website. I ordered more bottles. She did come on to our show a few weeks ago. And the wine is amazing. They have a new store that opened up in North Carolina. I believe she's in Charlotte. And so I just want to shout out, I love supporting Black businesses. I love supporting all businesses, but, I love Black. I'm Black. I love it.
Right.
I'm obsessed with Black. So, yes, let's go ahead and get on into the show, because let me tell y'all, if we have time and if Chris feels like it, we may go ahead and do some readings live. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to him solely. So y'all get ready because we about to do it. Y'all go ahead and get y'all questions ready. Put your signs up in the chat, please. Let me know what your sign is. But let's go ahead and welcome the Chris Medina.
Hey, girl. How's it going?
It is going amazing. It is going amazing. So happy to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and put my brother, my therapist, my YouTube guru, DJ Richie Skye is in the building. What's going on?
What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Skye Squad is in the building. Boss Squad is in the building. What did y'all think about that promo?
I loved it. I love that promo.
At first, I was like, who is this? Then I recognized. I was like, oh, yeah, you better put him to work, girl.
Look here. look, put them to work and break all kind of child labor laws, had them working late.
Start them off early. Yeah, that's right.
Look, go ahead and get it. They may have a career in voiceovers. We'll see. But I am excited. I want to get this thing going. Chris and I were talking backstage. We both logged on like really early. So we were just backstage chatting. And I was just telling him and sharing with him some things about my life path and where I've had moments where I've had dreams and they were kind of pointing me into the direction of even where I am now. But Chris, what do you have to say to people who may be struggling with their life's journey, trying to find their purpose? What would you suggest would be the first, what would be the first step they would need to take to kind of reevaluate and say, am I where I am supposed to be?
Before you take that first step looking for a purpose, you better take that first step towards yourself. Because what's going to end up happening is if you don't know yourself, you don't know where you're at presently, how are you going to have that much of a future? Your mind is cloud. You need that clarity. You need that insight. You need to be able to see things for what they are and not clouded with your emotional stuff, trauma, and that pain. So I always say start at home, start within first. And then you'll start to see, I mean, you're a great example, Monique. And then you'll see as soon as you start finding yourself and finding where you're at there, you'll start to see how those opportunities or that road of life starts lighting up for you. You're no longer in the dark. You're no longer looking for the signs to tell you, do I go right or I go left? You can just feel that. So I always say start within first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jay, what do you have for us? What do you think about that? Because I know Jay is like, Jay is my 20-something boo. So he is always sharing with us his journey, which I love because you have been so transparent for so many months on this show. And I love seeing and hearing everything that you have gone through and discovered about yourself as you're taking your journey, So what do you think?
I think, what you said when we first started this show about how we kind of do our quote unquote life's purpose in our childhood first. I can relate to that totally because even though I'm only 22, I was still a child at some point. So I consider that around 17, 18. And I've always loved to create videos and things like that. And when I was 17 up until maybe 19, 20, that is what I did. And I was super passionate about it. I enjoyed waking up, creating content, etc. And I don't know what happened. I'm still currently passionate about it now, but life happens. You get older, you get into situations, you get bills, you have a whole lot of things that happen. So you kind of have to redirect where you were going to get things in order. And I feel like that's kind of what I did. And I think right now I'm still in the phase of my life trying to figure out how to do it all. I know I can do it all, but I also know that requires sacrifices. And for what I want to do as an entrepreneur, having, full-time jobs or whatever it is, that's a sacrifice. And, I feel like right now I'm still trying to figure out how to achieve it. And it is a struggle and a battle that I do have with myself because I know I can do it. But I believe that when it's time, I'll know. And right now I think I'm still looking for the signs. So I think right now I'm just,
This is a very crucial time for somebody at your age. I always talk about that, and that's a perfect time frame between the ages of 17 to 22. It's almost like you're not asleep, but that's the huge growth spurt between those ages, and that's where a lot of people, if you stop and look at it, I don't want to be morbid, but that's where they check out. Life starts to get to them and they don't know how to handle it. And you're on that other end of you're coming out of this here. So again, this is the time of looking within, looking to see where you're at, what your capabilities are, what you can actually do with yourself right now. So you got to give yourself a little bit of time, a little bit of credit. And I don't mean to be an old lady here, but you're just a baby. But you have to also see where you're at here now.
Yeah.
and acknowledge that you're already kind of working your way towards that path that you wanted as a child.
I agree. I think I do. For some reason, I'm like in the stage of rushing my life. And I talk to my parents and my close friends, and they're like, you need to slow down. But I think it's because I know my potential. That's where the like rushing part comes in, if that makes sense.
But remember what happens when people like you and I rush, and I'm going to say people like us as in Taurus, is that we end up tripping over our own damn clumsy feet sometimes because we know what we need to do, and we're racing. For us, it's always a race against the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Take
Richie. Come on, Pastor.
I'm sitting in the pew. I'm sitting in the pews tonight. No, I was gonna, I was just gonna chime in and say that I identify with what Jay just said. I mean, I think, growing up, we have these things that we see for ourselves, and then somehow along the way, and I hate that I had this happen to me, but I got caught up in well, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And then what do you do to pay the bills, and what's practical and what's expected of you? And I think it wasn't until probably in the past couple of years that I just sort of said, I'm going to follow what feels good to me. Mm-hmm. And I believe that ever since then, and there were points where I struggled, specifically when I was in LA. I think I've told some of the community on my channel that, I've had periods where I was broke. I had my car repossessed. I had just literally done Stripped on Bravo, and I was going to do a red carpet, and the PR person that I was working with was like, hey, where you at? And in my mind, I was like, it was a Saturday morning, and I was thinking to myself, how am I going to tell him that my car was repossessed, right? Yeah. So I was like, what am I going to do? And he was like, I don't really know what you're going to do about your car, but what you're going to do is you're going to get down here because life goes on. Mm-hmm. And it was such a pivotal moment, I think, for me, because I realized that, there will be a lot of obstacles in your path, but, you can still persevere. And for me, I honestly have to say, I'm so thankful for every misstep and mistake that I made, because now I'm able to have these stories to tell where I can actually relate to my audience, I feel like, and my community a lot better. But I would say that, for me, purpose has been largely in the past couple of years been driven by my passions.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. I love a passionate person. Like, I vibe with people who are passionate. If you're just doing things just to do it, I can't rock with you. Like, I just can't. I don't know how to read that kind of energy. I don't know what to do with it. I will say, like Richie, most of my, if not all of my finer moments of realization, they came in some of my darkest hours. I feel like sometimes God has to take all of the fight out of you in order to get you to wake up and listen, just to shake you up and say, okay, now that you're tired, now that you don't have any energy to fight, to swing, to complain, now I can have a conversation with you. I remember during those moments, so there was a time where my mom and my dad spoiled the mess out of me and my sister. We were living down here in the DC area. They were paying the car note. They were paying the rent. They were paying all of our bills. Like, I was pursuing music. So I'm on a train or a bus headed up to New York every weekend, recording and doing different things and meeting with A&Rs and meeting with producers and all of that stuff. So I'm just living the good life. They sending us money. We're like, oh, we need money to buy food. Then we go right down to downtown DC and be going shopping up against the wall. Anybody who used to be around Howard knows that store. That's where I used to be, spending all the money. And then all of a sudden, my parents decided that they were getting divorced, and everything came crashing down. I remember my dad called and was like, just giving y'all a heads up, the car is going to get repoed. They'll probably be picking it up in a couple days. So figure it out. And, oh, by the way, y'all got to start paying your rent. Me and my sister looked at each other like, wait, what? All of it happened that fast. And I had to then get a job. I started working at a bank, and I was back in school, and I would have to wake up at 5 a.m, leave my house at 6, walk to the metro, take an hour metro ride to the bus station, and then another hour travel from the bus to then get off and then walk to my job. If I had a car, it was 15 minutes. It took me 2 hours to get to work every day. My sister told me, she said, during these times, while you have all this time traveling to work, she said, get a book. She said, I suggest you read $1 Million Habits by Brian Tracy and start to change your mindset. So that's why if anybody follows me on Twitter, my quote that I have pinned up there is, if you can change the mindset, you can change a generation. And I firmly and truly believe that, because most of my change came when I changed my mindset,
Yep.
But those were defining moments for me. And I'll forever be grateful for that struggle, me getting off at work late at night, coming home, it's pitch black. I got a pocket knife in one hand and a can of mace in the other hand, ready for somebody to try me while I'm walking home in the pitch black. I had a guy follow me one time, and I just had that thing clutched, like, oh, you don't want to mess with me. You come over here if you want. You about to get maced and shanked. But I had to do what I had to do. I was a young girl on my own, and I did what I had to do, and I'm grateful for every moment. So yes, absolutely.
That was deep. So I did have a question for Richie. Did you have to make any, because like for instance, Monique, with your story, that was sacrifices that you did have to make. I mean, you had no choice but to make those sacrifices to continue to keep pushing. So Richie, were there certain sacrifices, despite the car repossession, that you had to make in order to finally fulfill your dream?
Yeah. I think for me, there was something that drew me to LA. So that was a huge thing for me. I left, I spent a lot of time here in DC, and I had a pretty comfortable life here, but something kept pushing me to go to LA, and the circumstances sort of led me there. And so you kind of have to give up everything, that makes you comfortable sometimes in order to grow. So that was probably, as I'm literally just thinking about it right now and having that realization that I think that was a pretty big sacrifice, but I think that it was worth it. I mean, I was there for only 3 years, but it was 3 years of heaven and hell. So
That's
I think in a nutshell, okay?
Yeah.
But I do think that if you stay there long enough, you can find your path and really make it work. Ultimately, what happened with me was that I got a job offer that took me to Miami, and that kind of set my life on a different path. But yeah, there were also trips that I missed, like my friends here in DC. People, I mean, you can come to DC and you can make a lot of money, right? Just being real. And so the friends that I had, they were taking trips and they were inviting me on the trips and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't have any money, so I can't go with y'all. Those types of things that I sacrificed as well.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. Listen, I remember Chris used to be hitting me up. We talked about this on our anniversary episode. Chris used to hit me up and be like, let's go out to eat. And I'd be like, well, I kind of got something to do. And I would keep like pushing him off. And he was like, all right, what's going on? Why you keep like playing me to the left? Every time I invite you out to eat, you saying no. I said, I ain't going front. I can't afford the places you be eating at. And I'm not going to assume that you're paying the bill. So I never eat, like I don't eat out unless I can afford it myself. And I'm not going to make that assumption. He bust out laughing. He said, look, if I'm taking you out, I got you. The first time I could pay,
I love that.
We were at Barnside in College Park. That bill came back. It was like $27. I said, I got this one. I can pay this bill.
And I even got money for a tip too.
Right? What? I said, oh, you covered tonight.
So I have a question for the three of you. What is your opinion, I guess? I see a lot of people, especially on social media, who know deep down in their heart that they are entrepreneurs. They're sick of working 9 to 5s and things of that nature. And a lot of them quit without a backup plan. And I've always wondered how, why, and what was the outcome. So what advice would you give to those who feel like that they have no choice but to quit and just go full force? Like, what is your opinion on that?
It's different if you get fired. Like if you get fired, you ain't got a choice to go full force. But my thing is, you can prepare for your passion to take off.
Right.
And then once it takes off and it's doing well and it's actually generating enough income where you can, stay afloat, or you're matching, or, you kind of got to ease into that. You got to be smart about it, but that's just my opinion. What do y'all think?
I think that people forget sometimes, and I'm going to be the psychic right now. I think people forget sometimes that devil is always on your shoulder. And so these people that come strong right out the gate forget that you're going to be tested. There's going to be roadblocks, opposition in your way to test. Is this really what you want to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
And let's be truthful, and I'm not knocking anybody, but how many people really have it in them, that hardcore drive and that determination to see something to its completion without falling down completely and not being able to get back up? It is hard. So I think that, that you have to, I always go in there thinking, okay, and this is just my way of thinking, I got to prepare for what can possibly, and I'm just going to be funny here, that devil knows how to work me. He likes to put emotions and most of all men in my way when it comes to, yeah. So I'll be feeling good and thinking that everything's going good. And without fail, when I'm not even looking for it, a man will come in, something emotional come in, and most even worse, the family drama, the stuff that you're trying to actively leave behind, come back and haunting you. So you got to be prepared for it. You got to realize if this is what I truly want to be doing, nothing's going to stop me.
True.
And just to add to what you said about losing everything and having to come back, that's one of the things that my guides did. And as a Taurus, maybe this will make sense to you, Jay. They said, we're going to take, first of all, there was a roach that, I know it sounds weird, but a roach crossed my path. And right away I picked up on that. I was like, this is getting down to the bare essentials. This is survival mode. This is where you're only going to have what you need to survive. And my guides came in and said, we're going to take everything away from you, your home, your kids, your comfort. And I said, why? And they said, because this is exactly what they said. You will use every one of those things as an excuse not to get up in the morning. I got to take my kids here. I can't because I got this. I can't because blah, blah, blah. And they took everything away and forced me down this path.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jay, I laughed when you asked that question, only because I was one of those people. I had a job when I was in LA, and it took me 2 hours to get there every day, and then 2 hours to get home because of that LA traffic. Oof. I lived in North Hollywood, and it was down past the airport. Okay, so if anybody who lives in LA or you've been to LA, you know
that's horrible.
That 405 is the devil himself.
Okay, so I just one day said, you know what? God, I was like, I can't do this no more. Didn't have a backup, didn't have anything. But what I did realize at that point, though, was I can no longer do what I don't want to do. Now, I may have to do something I don't want to do for a little while, but it can't be for long. So right. I don't know that I would advise anybody else to take that stance, because it did lead me to some hardships down the line. But, I also think that I understand myself now. And so I don't allow myself to, I feel like this. I am going to work as hard as I can every day to ensure that I never have to do anything else that I don't want to do, because I'm very passionate about not doing what I don't want to do.
Right. Yes. No, I love that. See, Cutie, thank you so much for the super sticker. I totally agree with that. Y'all already know what my philosophy is. I have a line, cross that line, you either getting dragged or I'm quitting. So I keep it real to the core. And I only do what I feel comfortable doing. I have no problem owning up to whatever I need to own up to. And I keep it moving. But that to me is what works. So let's talk about, I really want to talk about passion as it relates to your purpose, as it relates to your childhood. So I remember years ago in Bible study, when I was going to Healing Waters, Pastor Chad said, if you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, think about the things you enjoyed doing when you were a child. And I remember writing down a list of things that I loved to do when I was a child. I love being outside. I've always been a nature person. I've always loved animals, bugs, insects. I'd be digging in the dirt. I was the biggest tomboy you'll ever find. And that was one thing. The other thing was I love to talk. I used to have my y'all remember those little boom boxes back in the day? And you got to hold the record and the play button down at the same time. And you put your little tape in there and you record yourself. Jay looking like there's the lights. Mr. Jay. That's what we did back in the day. We had a tape and we would put it in there, close that joint, press the play and the record button, and we would do radio shows. And I was the radio host, and I loved talking. I would do the commercial breaks. My sister would come on. Y'all remember that commercial back in the day? I love eggs from my head down to my legs. So my sister would come on and do the egg commercial. But I started thinking about that, and I said, I love talking. I love hosting. And when this happened, this was way before Housewives or anything like that. So I just started realizing that I was like, well, I want to open up more opportunity for me to be able to speak to people. I was sharing with Chris before we logged in that when I was about 22, this was about 16 years ago, I was about 22, I had this dream. And in this dream, I was speaking to like a multitude of women. There were women everywhere. It was like filled up, nothing but women. And I was on this stage speaking. I don't know what I was talking about, but the feeling I got in the dream was almost like I was preaching, but I wasn't like preaching a sermon. It wasn't like I was like, a pastor or anything, but I was speaking. And I woke up and I called my dad, and I was like, I had this crazy dream. I was like talking to all these women and I want to talk to people. And he's like, well, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, I don't know, but I know I need to be talking to people, So then about 6 years later, my pastor at the time, his wife, had the same dream. She said, I had this crazy dream about you. You were speaking to this multitude of women, used the same language and everything. And I said, wow, that's crazy. I had a dream about that years ago. Then I was prophesied upon at church when I had my first son. So this is about 7 years ago. And he said that he saw me speaking to people and having this health and wellness and having these different rooms with all of these different classrooms and fitness and health and all of this stuff. And he said, you're going to change a generation. And I'm looking at him like, huh? I'm like, maybe he called the wrong person up. But it's crazy how when you really start to tune into what you did and loved as a child, the universe starts making room for those things. Now that you're aware and your eyes are open and you're like, whoa, this is what I want to do. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know this is what I enjoy. This is what I'm passionate about. And I want to share my story. God makes room for it. And all of a sudden things start shifting. Your life starts taking on this new form. And now you're pushed right into what it is that you realize. So I encourage everybody that's watching right now, think about in your youth, what did you really enjoy doing? Maybe your parents didn't hone in on that gift or that talent, but maybe it's something there that was really your calling, your purpose, and you strayed so far away from it. And it's a way you can bring it back. Who would have known 16 years ago that I would have been on a show, that I would have been going through everything I went through that propelled me to be right here talking to y'all right now? Who would have known that? I would have never guessed that. And then I know I'm at the beginning of where I'm supposed to be going. But I love that I'm on the life path I'm supposed to be on. And all of those dreams that I can recall signal that I'm on the right path,
Wow.
It took you those 16 years of getting, and I'm using this term as something positive, jaded you into who you are today. You needed to go through all that. Same thing with when you talk about your passion as a child. My passion as a child was to help people. I remember being like in second grade, and I'm old, so we had those yard duties that would sit there and watch, and there were these girls that would intern from like the Catholic high school. And I remember giving them advice on their boyfriends at a very young age, giving them almost like these mini readings. So that's what I've always been called to do. But then, like you said, life comes in. We have to start being realistic. How, like Jay said, how are we going to pay these bills? We got a car note, house note. And then also too, as I was being jaded, I had to have kids. So coming in here and having 2 kids of my own and having to be a father and raise those kids and be an active parent, my life was all on hold. Those were the lessons that I had to go through. Fast forward to 2014, they pick right where we left off. It's time to start. And like you said, just to kind of steal from what you said, whether you're going to use the term God's guiding you or holding your hand, I agree with that as well too. And I'm also going to say, then your path of life starts to light up for you, and you start to see those lights, those opportunities coming towards you, where you don't even have to look for them anymore because you're on the path that you're supposed to be on, and they're giving you those opportunities as a form of blessing, karmic tokens, if you will, to let you know this is where you should be going. Wow. And I think I'm just going to throw you in there, Monique, again, like I said, and your fans one other time. I mean, geez, these are strong women that look up to you, that actually see that struggle and actually admire what it is that you're doing. So when I'm reading them or I'm talking to them and they want to kind of model their life after you, I will tell them, take those bits and pieces of strength that she taught you, but make no mistake, it's going to be you at the end result here.
Yes.
So and you have no idea. I'm telling you, you have no idea. Maybe you do in some way, how powerful your words are, your presence, and all the shit that you've been through to put you where you're at right now and be able to do it gracefully and beautifully. Come on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because it is not easy walking in these shoes, y'all. These guys have been through some things.
I kind of relate to a lot what you said, Monique. Just from my own personal experience. I remember when you found out that I used to do YouTube a while ago, and I remember I ended it because I kind of had that like self-realization that I was either in it for the wrong reasons, or I just wanted people to like know who I was, etc. And that did happen for a cute little minute. It was fun. But I stopped it because I was just like, my heart's not in it anymore. I kind of feel like I'm doing it just because. And that's not a good feeling, especially when you start feeling so passionate about something. And then over time, it's like, I got to do this. Like, you don't even want to do it. It's not even fun to do it. So I stopped it, which obviously I enjoyed it at some point. Later down the line, I somehow got into connection with you. And look what we're doing now. This is where I want it to be. I just lost the motivation somehow. And I feel like, the world works in mysterious ways, because I had no idea that I would be doing this for almost a year, which is crazy. And throughout doing this, I learned that my passion is, of course, to still entertain. But like you said, doing the show, I've had so much growth. So I learned that I can have more than one passion. I've talked to different entrepreneurs. Just having you in my life as an entrepreneur has done things. I've learned that I really like to make people feel good and let people know that it's okay to be vulnerable and own up to your flaws. And it almost, ever since I've done this show, I've gotten people who have DM'd me saying thank you, or you brought a new perspective. So I'm like, okay, well, am I a motivational speaker? I don't know. But it's also helped with my shyness. A lot of people do not believe me when I say I am shy. I am
y'all. He really is.
I'm really shy, and I can love you to death, and we can have all these amazing conversations through text. But if I'm in your presence, I'm quiet. But I have also taken it upon myself to show people, or try to help people to overcome their shyness and things like that. So as you were saying that, I did not realize that doing this show has brought out a lot of my life purposes that I do want to fulfill in the long run. So it's been amazing.
Yay! I love to hear that. You got such a big smile on my face. JMW, thank you so much for the heart emoji. We love you too. Janaki Richardson, your voice is power. Thank you so much for the super chat. Design McClellan, thank you so much. Hi Monique, my favorite person. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for supporting the channel. Thank you. Richie, I feel like you over there just got something to say.
No, I mean, honestly, to take it back, I think the question initially was about, your purpose as it relates to things that you were passionate about as a child. I mean, for me, I just remember watching Entertainment Tonight at like 7 p.m. and just thinking to myself, I want to be there. And, I think that everything in my life has led me to this point where I no longer desire to be there because I value where I am so much more, because I know what it's like to work in news. I know how restrictive it can be, and I desire freedom. So now I'm able to do that sort of thing, but I'm able to do it on my own terms. And I didn't know that was possible at the time. So yeah, it was just me reflecting back on that journey of thinking I want to be on Entertainment Tonight to being where I am now and being much happier because I control what I do.
I love that.
Isn't it? What can we say about when you're on a life path and the people that you attract? Isn't it interesting how, I don't know, I'm sure everybody can relate to this. When you are going through different things in life, if you can think about people who had a positive effect, people who had a negative effect, you may stop talking to some of those people, but somebody else will kind of fill that spot. They'll jump right back in. It's like this energy that you just can't get rid of. One is there to challenge you and push you, and the other is there to help you, to keep you going, to encourage you, And it's so funny because I definitely believe for me, it was in 2019 going into 2020, after the fight and everything else that I had went through, that it was like this light bulb went off in my head and I saw things so different. I started seeing people for who they really are. And I've always kind of put people in a different box, and it's like, as soon as you get rid of one person, here goes somebody else to fill in that particular slot. And I got to that point where once I started like seeing that, I was like, oh, okay, now I ain't got no space for that. I'm like, oh no, you done. You that type of energy? Nope, you out of here, But it's just so funny how you'll have certain personalities where you're aligned with, and you'll kind of always gravitate to those people. It's funny because with Richie, we connected when I first got on the show, and you were with another who was it at the time?
I was at AfterBuzz TV in LA.
Yes. Reached out, we connected, but then you left AfterBuzz, and then it was like, I was like, oh, I wonder what happened to him. And then you had your own channel, and then we reconnected again, and lo and behold, we share a best friend. Like, it's so crazy how those life paths, it is like it always lines up. And and then I'm like, Richie is one of my favorite people. He's amazing. He's just a good listening ear, and just like we bounce off ideas off of each other. And it's just so crazy because that was like 5-6 years ago, and then here we are today. So crazy.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, how do we get here?
Right.
but it's great, you know what I'm saying? Because I had no idea that, even when Riley said, yeah, I used to be really, really, really close with her. And I was like, really? She's on the show and she's really doing the doggone thing. And I'm excited about it, right? So I was like, I got to talk to this girl. Like, we got to get her on AfterBuzz TV. And all of a sudden I get a job offer in Miami. So I move and I'm like, well, bye y'all. And, it's so crazy how that came back around full circle. And I did not know, or I did not foresee us becoming, having this sort of like brother-sister relationship that we have now. But I just feel like with having people like you in my life, people like Riley in my life, there's a positivity that is just, I think, working in my life at this point, where those people that you sort of talked about that you don't really have the energy for, or they don't really have the right energy for you, they're no longer there, which is interesting.
The reason I'm going to add to this real fast. The reason why they get replaced with another similar energy, and let me manipulate you really fast, is to make sure that you are staying on that straight and narrow, reminding you of what you're working so hard to get away from. You know what I'm saying? So they will replace those little people there. It's like that, like I said, that devil on your shoulder, that little reminder. How bad do you want it? Stay focused, stay determined to do what you need to do, what you came here to do.
Yes.
And then you'll start to see, I'm telling you, like, again, one last time here, Monique, then you'll start to see that stuff just dissipate, and that spot is closed. There's no person that's going to fill that spot anymore.
Yes.
It's evolution.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. Oh man, I've evolved so much. There's certain things that I just had to get to the point where, you know, like I'm a person that I'm very considerate. I'm very compassionate for other people, but it just had to get to a point, and this has been recently, where I just realized, like, well, what about me? What about my boundaries? What about what I hold true to myself, and where I say, hey, here's the line that I draw? You know, like, I can be compassionate towards others, but I can still love me first and foremost. And I shouldn't feel bad about that. You know, just feeling bad about how I might make someone else feel, and, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, but at the end of the day, I'm like, well, shoot, I need to look out for me first. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it took me 38 years to get to that point, because I'm such a people pleaser, that I had to finally say, you know what? I can no longer be that type of person, because if I really want my life to propel forward where it's supposed to be, and I continue on this journey and not go in circles all day long, then I have to make the change. It's either make the change or keep repeating a cycle. And I refuse. I don't like doing double work. My husband knows. He'd be like, that is like my tagline in the house. I hate double work. I'm not going to do something and then have to redo it. Nope, I'm gonna do it one time, and then I'm going to keep pushing. And that's pretty much my philosophy. That is my motto for life. Show me something one time, I'm gonna figure it out, and I won't ever have to do that mess again.
100.
So I guess I'll speak from like a personal experience, and I'll be completely honest. So I feel like majority of the people do categorize their friends, and it sounds bad when you say categorize, but for me, I do categorize my friends. I have a category for my people who are very entrepreneur wise and are really about their business. I have my friends who are, you know, the love is there, a quick turn up, etc. And then you just kind of I have a group of people who just can't kind of get rid of. And and this is me just being completely transparent. I lose interest really fast. It has been a downfall, whether it was like in a relationship, a friendship, job, whatever. I just lose interest really fast. If you are not like, I can't explain it, but it happens really fast. And I kind of like, if somebody tells me that they're starting a new business, it does something to my spirit. Like my heart falls out. Like I'm so happy. And I know that that's where I want to be in life. And I just kind of wish that like all my friends were on the same wavelength. Because, you know, you have those friends who are like, congratulations, and then that's it. But then you have the other friends who are like, oh my gosh, tell me more. How are we going to get this? How are we going to get this done? And that's who I gravitate more. No shade to my other friends. Like the love is there. But I think I'm in the battle of, I think right now, because I know where I want to be, my priority on friendships are the ones who I see are about their business. And I kind of feel bad because I don't want to let the ones who there's clearly love there, but I want you to be passionate like me. And I know life does not work that way. And
it does. No, life does work that way. You make it work. No, trust me. Listen, like this might sound so rude, but why am I echoing? Hold on. Okay, is that better? No, yeah. So that's weird. Like this might sound rude, but I do not talk to people who are negative. Like I can have one conversation with you, and if all you do is complain, I will never ever again ask you how your day's going.
Yeah,
I won't do it. And I'm not going to talk to people who gossip. If you gossip all day long, can't talk to you. I
Oh,
love
for
you from a distance, but
Mhm.
I mentally just can't. Like, I like to have intellectually stimulating conversations. I want to talk about what the sun does to the pineal gland. I want to
Yes.
talk about Kemet. I want to talk about African spirituality. I want to talk about real history. I want to talk about melanin and what it really means to have melanin. It's not just a skin color, but it's actually what covers and coats all of your cells in your whole entire body. That's the type of talk that I want to have. And if you're not talking like that, miss me.
So the three of you so do you think it is vital? Like, again, you feel like your friend supports you. They say congratulations, but do you feel like it is vital to have a conversation and be like, hey, I'm really passionate about X, Y, and Z, and I kind of don't feel like, I don't know, like, okay, how am I trying to word it? Everybody's life journey is different. So of course, the things I get excited about, you may not get excited about, but I kind of want more than a congratulations. Like, do you think it is vital to have those conversations with your friends? Like, hey, like, what else you got other than a congratulations? I want more. Or do you think you should respect that, they're just not as excited?
Ooh, this is such a fun question.
Go for it, Richie. Go for it.
I can only tell you my experience. And I think that I've learned that my business is not for my friends. It is for the customers that I'm in business for. So I don't expect my friends to watch my videos. I don't expect my friends to buy my products. I would like for them to, if I tell them that I have a business, to, oh, that's great. But that's the basic minimum that I expect, if I even expect that. And 9 times out of 10, I don't even tell certain friends that I'm doing certain things, because I just feel like I already know they may not have the capacity to congratulate me for doing something that sometimes they don't even have the capacity to do for themselves. So, with that being said, I now understand. Okay, you don't have the capacity to do that for you, so I can't expect the congratulations for me. And I don't mean to sound rude when I say that, but I think that's just the harsh truth of it all. Like, and listen, for me, they may have something that they like to do, and I may not be passionate about it. And I'm not mad if they don't tell me about it. But I just kind of have the mindset that my business is for my potential customers. That's that.
Nice way to look at it. Yeah.
I gotta throw something in there real fast, Jay.
Wait. I'm sorry, Chris. Before you talk,
Yeah.
everybody check out DJ Richie Skye's new supplements and beauty line.
Ooh.
Today. It launched.
Yes.
Y'all better check it out. Yes.
Period.
Check it out. Visit emirin.com. And listen, I tried his supplements firsthand. So let me tell y'all what my favorite thing was. So he has an organic green superfood powder that you pour into your drink, right? The first thing, yes, go ahead. I love it. So the first thing I looked at, I tasted it and I looked at Richie. I said, I don't taste the grainy stuff. You know how you put those powdered stuff into your drinks and you shake it up like 10 minutes, you shaking, and then you drink it and it's all like gritty in your mouth?
Yeah.
His stuff, no grit. It literally dissolves so good. I could literally put it in my kids' juice and they would never know it's there. And they're getting all the greens they need. I ordered
like Richie.
Yes.
Smooth like Richie.
Listen, right?
Thank you for mentioning that. And just as a side note, y'all, you can get 10% off using the code Tea with Monique.
Period. Look at that.
Let me update that banner. Hold on.
Congratulations.
Thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate that.
Tea with Monique. Promo code Tea with Monique. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry I had to cut you off.
No, don't worry. Jay, you're so young though too. You know what I'm saying? So like all this comes with maturity and growth. And I'm just gonna be that Taurus, and I'm gonna just to jump on Richie's bandwagon there. The truth is harsh because it's the truth. So when it comes to friends and all that stuff, I'm very selective, and maybe that's the psychic medium side of myself as far as like, who I choose to have around me. But if you're not, I'm not saying you got to make it about me or jump on my bandwagon the whole time but if I have to question your energy, it's just not worth my sanity to keep you around.
Right. I think and I swear to you when I say I'm not that friend, but I'm still in the stages of my life where I like the energy to be reciprocated. So let's say my friend is launching something. I'm buying one of everything. I'm posting. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And not to keep tally. I want you to believe when I say not to keep tally, because I don't keep tally on what I do for my friends or how I support my friends. Because if you have to keep tally, then, are you really doing it for the right reasons? But I know what type of energy I give out, and it's more than a congratulations. And you can literally make tomatoes, and I hate tomatoes, but you know what? I'm going to be so excited about the 5 new tomatoes you just released, and I'm going to tell everybody about it and tell them to go eat it. So I think I have to, and I can own it. I have to get out of the mindset of, everybody just really can't match your energy, and not taking it so personal. But a lot of things, unfortunately, are personal. I feel like you just kind of have to, there has to be a balance.
Yeah.
There has to be a balance, and friendships are a lot of work, and support should come at no cost, whether you really care or not. I feel like support should just really, that's a major factor in friendships.
That's what I'm saying.
On passionate things.
That's what I'm saying.
You kind of got to understand what type of friend you're dealing with, and how to move with them. Like
so continue to categorize them, like I have.
Yeah, like if you want to say categorize, I say move. It's pretty much the same. Like you have to know which friends you can have certain conversations with. Like I have certain friends where I can talk about marriage stuff because they might relate to me exactly in that department. I have certain friends who I can talk with about business, and it's not just me talking about what I'm doing. We're both bouncing off ideas on each other, and you're creating this energy that just is amazing. I have certain friends who I may not talk to for 6 months because we both busy and we ain't got nothing to talk about for real at that moment, and we ain't mad at each other. It's just, it is what it is. And everybody just kind of know the role. Not is meant for everybody. Not every conversation is meant for every friend, honestly.
True. Yeah.
Whew,
deep.
And that's part of his journey, though. That's part of look at your journey, Jay. You just mentioned it earlier today. Look at the panel that you have here. You got Monique, the entrepreneur, you got, the psychic medium, you got the preacher, you know what I'm saying, dropping knowledge. So you're where you need to be, listening to what you need to be listening to.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Richie, I gotta give it to you, Richie. Your vibe is, you got a nice little vibe going on there.
Thank you.
Richie's legit. Legit person for real. Y'all make sure y'all shop and support DJ Richie. Show him our buying power over here at Tea with Monique. We don't play. We only promote what is really good. And y'all already know about me. Y'all can count on one hand how many social media influencer deals I've ever posted. I only post what I truly believe in. And y'all have to shop. He's giving y'all 10% off. Tea with Monique. Code's right there. And also, I surprised everybody because y'all know I'm over here trying to be cheap because I'm trying to get all of my holiday stuff put together for me to leave. But I am offering free shipping for just until Friday at midnight. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a couple days, but I'm gonna give y'all free shipping for everything over $50 when you shop. Me Leave Essentials. So that's what I'm doing for y'all. Richie's giving y'all 10% off. I'm giving y'all free shipping. It's a whole like deal. Y'all go ahead and start y'all's holiday shopping early and then get yourself right because y'all know Thanksgiving's around the corner. You're gonna need them super greens, and he has sea moss capsules that everybody needs in this cold and flu season. Right there.
Wow, he's just whipping them up. I love that.
So let me get this right. So Monique's going to make you, so Richie's going to make you feel good on the inside, in Monique is going to make you feel good on the outside. Is that what we're doing here?
All of that.
Love it. I love it.
It's team right here. We got you covered. We're gonna fight jitters with your diffuser. Get your diffuser. And then Richie's gonna make sure your outsides and insides is all cleaned out, and you got your greens, so y'all can eat and have a good time, but then you're still cleansing. You know, that alkaline environment healthy, because y'all gonna be around a bunch of people. You know, don't nobody want to be getting sick. Don't nobody want to get COVID, all of that good stuff. So keep that alkaline environment. So you can do that with everything that we're offering y'all. All healthy stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
This was really good.
No, I really enjoyed this. Are there any questions in the chat? I know everybody's been, thank y'all for sharing the video. Thank y'all for encouraging us as we speak. But if there's any questions that y'all have, we have 5 minutes. We can, you know, answer any questions, y'all. Sky Squad, thank y'all for showing up. Yes, very good conversation. Very eye-opening. Thank you, Chris Mealer. Bernice says she's going to shop after her workout. Yes, Chris brought it all full circle as he does. Chris, can you give us a word before you leave? I feel like this is church.
I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down for the panel. Monique, yes, you and I had that conversation at the very beginning, before everybody got on here, as far as like what I envision for you and what I see happening in 2022 for you. You know, that's how the dream came up. We were talking about, I see you going larger, bigger, and better here. And I have to give it up to your fans. I have to give it up to Team Monique here, reaching out for readings, DMing me, hitting up my email and telling me how much they respect and look up to you. I'm telling you right now, you got to take some of that time to really take a real good look at you, what you've gone through, and the example that you're setting. And I've already said this before, for Black women. I can't speak on it because I'm not a Black woman, but when I have these strong Black women that have gone through some shit, really struggling, and see somebody like you where, I mean, change their attitude completely around. We're still going to keep it. We're still going to keep it hood. You bring that trouble here, we're going to give it right back to you.
Look here.
That's not our go-to. And Monique, I'm telling you, you've got all this great energy coming into you. I feel like the next 2 years are going to be very beneficial for you, making money moves, I mean, I know it's not all about the money, but look, you've really, really, really started coming into yourself and really starting to see how things work and how the matrix is set up. So I got to give it to you. I have nothing negative to say. Jay, continue to grow, baby. And your guides, and I know this sounds dumb for me to talk about your guides coming in and tell me what to tell you, but you need to go live your life. You need to get that life experience. You need to go make some of those mistakes. You need to go have that fun. You need to learn the lessons that you need to learn. You're 22 with all this knowledge already. It's time to start living your life and start taking action. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yep. And don't hold yourself back. And you already know, you can always come to me. If you have a question, whatever, you can always hit me up. We'll do that one-on-one. I'm gonna go with Richie real fast here. I'm digging that vibe. I love that. I said something to you earlier before the show about that Cancer Virgo energy, where you got that empathic, very sensitive side to you, but you also got that intellect, that knowledge, that it's books, it's watching stuff, it's lessons and stuff. To be able to mesh those two together makes, and I call you the pastor, I call you the preacher, but makes for a really good preacher because it's very impactful. And with you, just making sure that you're allowing yourself the opportunity to go after what it is that you want and not self-sabotaging yourself emotionally sometimes. And I know, and I say that loosely. The only reason why is because I don't feel that you're as bad as you were before, that you're understanding how you're working here. But some days, just like we all do, that little devil's on our shoulder sometimes, it can really cause an earache. So I don't have anything negative to give you here. If anything, I'm going to go back to your childhood about the entertainment tonight here. How do I say this without sounding like I'm giving you this positive reading here, not going to incorporate anything negative, but there's just something about you that's very magnetic. The charisma, and I think that you're built for more than just, it's such a shitty thing to tell somebody else. I think that you're built for more than just that. And I give you all of 2022. We're leaving 2021 right now. I give you all of 2022 for these lessons to come in, because I feel like it's going to be a very and I hope this makes sense to you. It's going to be a lot of getting you out of your comfort zone. I feel like you have to die one more time, just get hit just one more time here to evolve completely. And I feel like that's what 2022 is going to bring you.
Wow. Well, I will say, I mean, listen, y'all. I mean, he hit the nail on the head with the Cancer Virgo because I'm a Cancer. My partner is a Virgo. So that was literally that's what I laughed when you said it earlier. And I said, I'm going to wait for this because if anybody had any questions about whether or not Chris was the real deal, that settled it for me as soon as we got on today.
Wow.
Thank you. And Richie, I want to extend the same courtesy. If you ever need anything, I always got your back. Just like I got my girl Monique and my boy Jay. If you ever need anything, you can always come to me.
Yes.
Thank you.
And can I give Chris his flowers? Because let me tell y'all, this right here is a girl who grew up Pentecostal, who was always told that, you know, you can't have readings, you know, that's this, that's that, the other. You know, this is a woman who has grown spiritually to the point where I am open and accepting of God's gifts and God's people. Chris is God's people. And let me tell y'all, I'm not going to bring anybody on this panel who I don't believe in, you know, who I don't root for. I appreciate you, Chris, for always coming every month. We done had you here. We just had you 2 weeks ago. We love you here. You are welcome any and every time. And I'm going to give you all the good energy right on down there for just having a positive and amazing 2022 and beyond. And I want you to continue to grow, and for you growing helps all of us grow because you're able to take those gifts and put them right back onto us. And I so appreciate you. Every time you come, you speak wisdom, you speak truth, you speak things, and you have no idea. I'm like, you just said to me, you need to start. You said this is your time to start walking into spaces and you're not having to spend any money. And I'm like, I received that because I've been looking for office space. And I'm like, look, I ain't trying to pay what they trying to tell me to pay. But Mila Eve needs a home outside of my basement. So I'm going to go ahead and receive all of that good old energy right there. But no, I really appreciate you. I feel like this was an amazing topic, an amazing panel. We didn't have time to do, you know, calls and all of those different things. Maybe we'll do it in the future, but I do want people to just stay encouraged. Someone did ask a great question. They were asking about transitioning from working for someone to starting your own business. Just in a nutshell, what I can say to you is do your research. Make sure that whatever business you're trying to start, you understand fully what you're getting into. People have made comments about me with Mila Eve. Oh, why don't you just hire a staff? Why don't you just do this and the other? I wanted to understand fulfillment myself. This way, once my company really takes off, I know exactly what's going on, which will in the long run save me money because I'm not just having somebody do it and implement their way and I not know, and I'm so dependent on them that I can't do what I need to do and also make a decent amount of money. So know what you're doing, do your research, make sure that you read some books about just being an entrepreneur. What's the difference between an S Corp, a C Corp, a LLC, a sole proprietorship? Know all of these different things. Know how to structure from beginning. Once you start your business, especially if it's dealing with e-commerce, anything with sales, already have a bookkeeper, have your accountant. These are things that you need that are necessary right from the get-go. Do all of that before you even jump out there so that you are ready. Once you launch, you're good. You're not going to have any issues with taxes or anything like that. You understand that if you have an LLC, you have 5 years to make it profitable. You can take a loss every year, up to 5 years before they call it a hobby. So just know all of these different things. That's the advice I can give you. Maybe we'll do, actually, next week, we're doing a show, Mind Your Business with Karen Huger. So come back next week. We're going to be talking about entrepreneurship 101. So everybody that had questions on how to translate from working from somebody to working for yourself, y'all need to come back next week with Real Housewives of Potomac. Karen Huger, the Grand Dame, is going to be on TV with Monique. I'm really excited. And she's going to be telling y'all about how if you mind your own business, you ain't got to worry about your business failing. Stop being business. Worry about other people's stories.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I'm really excited about that. Right now, I'm about to hop off of here, and then I'm going to be on Not for Lazy Moms, Wind Down Wednesday with Erin Washington, who is of Squats and Margaritas. She is the truth, y'all. So she is a woman who has figured out how to eat and do whatever the heck she wants, drink what she wants, and she's maintaining a healthy weight and a healthy body Her fitness is on point, and she's giving us all the tips and secrets. She was on with us last year. She's back. She's one of our Not for Lazy Mom contributors, and she's amazing. So if y'all want to log off 8:15, log on to Not for Lazy Moms YouTube channel, and we will be live with Aaron Washington for Wind Down Wednesday. I'm really excited. The show starts at 8:15. So those are all my announcements. Make sure y'all buy Richie's products. You get 10% off. Shop Me Leave, free shipping now until Friday. Don't tell nobody. Yes. Any last words before we log out, y'all?
Just stay positive. The world is so filled with negativity, and I feel like this was a very positive conversation and the vibes were good, and I just hope it rubs off on somebody who doesn't have the positivity inside of them, and just, smile. It costs you nothing.
I just want to jump in there and express my love again for the whole panel. Monique, you especially, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to come on your platform and speak my stuff.
Yes.
Love you. And again, let's do a part 5 when you're up and ready for it. I'm down.
Yeah. Look, we about to just have you. You just need to just join the show. At this point, at this point.
I mean, I'm loving all the guests. I loved everybody that's been on when I've been on. Richie,
Yes,
come on, man. I mean, if you're ever in LA and you want to do that LA traffic with me, hit me up.
I definitely will.
Okay.
And Monique and Jay, thanks for having me back on the show as well.
Oh my God.
We love
Always.
you.
What? I wouldn't even have a channel if it wasn't for you, Richie. Not a functioning one. I be hitting Richie up all the time. Richie, how do I do this on the back end? Yes, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. The comments are pouring in and pouring in and pouring in. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe. Thank you. Y'all like my locks? Thank you. Make sure y'all follow everybody that comes across the stage and definitely support the businesses. All the links will be in the description. I'll make sure I update with Richie's information. I think I already have it there, but I'll make sure I update and make sure everything is there. Thank y'all so much for watching the show. Hit that like button. It's free. Just hit it. Even if you don't like it, hit it. Y'all have a great week. Remember, keep doing things that make you whole. Be that whole person that you know you can be. Until next week, I'll see y'all.
Play, work, hit the stage. Then I'm gonna make you work.
What you gonna do?
Then I'm gonna make you say.
What you gonna do?
Right on the beat till it hurts. Track, play. Then I'm gonna make you work.
What you gonna do?